Welcome back to Flint Creek Transport. My name is Justin. If you guys remember, a few weeks ago we had a truck rollover. Well, today that truck is getting out of here. So this is the Peterbilt 379, truck number 138. This truck is leaving us. This truck is leaving us for good. It's getting pulled by another Peterbilt. So this is a crazy story, but we're with a captive group. I've never really had to file a claim for equipment with our captive group before. So with captive insurance, they got a bid on this truck, a ridiculously high bid. And that's the only bid that they got on this truck. So that's what they said this truck is worth. So in order for me to buy it back, I would have to spend a lot of money. And I looked at this truck and I'm like, it's not worth it. Even with the engine and the transmission and some of that stuff that we know, it just wasn't worth it. So I said, you know what? We're gonna send it back. And same way with that trailer, little secret. I got some more stuff coming. So involves dump trailers. So I'm excited. I'm excited to show you guys. But anyway, this truck just wasn't worth keeping, so we're sending it back. Dump trailer, we're sending back, or actually the dump trailer left us. We cleaned the salt out of it, and that dump trailer is gone. Forever gone. I did not get a video of that leaving, but this one I got to. So here it is, red Peterbilt, pulling a red Peterbilt. You know what's kind of crazy is these tanks were full of fuel, and I was walking around yesterday. Cool, they got it cleaned out. So I was walking around yesterday and we were looking at it and I'm like, tanks are full of fuel. We gotta change that. So we got that swapped out. Put post hole fuel in there. All right, nice Peterbilt here. 388 maybe. Fleet Pride. Wonder if these guys are out of Bath. How you doing? Fantastic. This truck, I was just chatting with the driver a little bit. It is going to Copart in Rochester, New York. So if you want to bid on a truck, have at it. So at least bid it up. I'll have to make sure that I watch the auction. So we'll see. Copart in Rochester. I don't know when it's going to go on auction. They obviously got to take pictures and all that, but yeah. That's it. Trying to get some shots of that truck leaving from my office because I was in a meeting in the next office over. I just saw him heading out. There he goes. Truck 138. She gone. One last time, one last look. All right, guys, so we are swapping the visor, or sorry, not swapping the visor. We're taking the visor off this. Both of the windshields are getting replaced. So they have some chips in them, and we have to put on our camera, Easy Pass, all the new stickers and stuff for New York State. So we're like, you know what, we might as well just swap them out. They have some chips, and what's gonna happen is they're gonna start spreading. The chips are going to start spreading once it gets cold. So I got some more details to go over on this truck, but we will go over them a little bit later. But check out that engine. So that is not the same engine that was in this truck, and I'm going to get into some details on this. Kind of interesting, but I will a little bit later today or tomorrow. This has the PTO and the pump, I think, is on it. We just got to run the hydraulic lines and put the tank on, because the tank is here somewhere. tank's not on. So we gotta swap the tank out. Guys, happy Saturday. Just popped in here at the shop. Want to wrap up this video, but I want to talk about the Peterbilt truck and a couple other things. So a couple of the guys are here working. A bunch of the trucks are here, actually most all of them. So we're gonna have a little chat about this Peterbilt. So this is the Peterbilt that came from RGM in Pennsylvania, and I got this truck. Trying to use the best choice of words here because I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. And Ryan doesn't even know. Ryan's a great guy. Doesn't even know what we did here. But I got this truck back, and this truck was pretty much ready to go. The only thing for us is we need to have a wet line, right? And we need a wet line on it, and we wanted to fix oil leaks. And we've been super busy, and it was kind of one of those things where I was like, you know what, let's fix it right. You know, let's get everything fixed up right. Let's do it as quick as we can, but let's do it right. And you know, there's always little things like the stripe. That wasn't a big deal. You know, there's things that you do that are very minor. The windshields, like that's just proactively, hey, getting it nice, because the windshields themselves are actually fairly cheap, but when we go in and we got to put our stickers on the windshield, we got to put the dash cam. There's a bunch of stuff that gets put on the windshield, and it's like, all right, we're gonna put that stuff on, and then 6 months down the road, we got to take it all off. We got to put it back on again. You know, let's just do it now and then put everything on there. So that's kind of what the thought was there. When the windshields over time, they get dinged up and chipped and whatever else, and I'd rather be a little bit safer and have everything right than you know, in a couple months have the windshield crack or whatever else, and just create more work for later. So the biggest thing though was this engine, and that's where when I buy these gliders, I do realize, like I keep in the back of my mind that I have engines here that I can swap out. So when I go to buy the gliders, I would really prefer not to pay too much for them. And I've been looking around to try to find a glider with a bad engine. Well, unbeknownst to me, I found a truck with a bad engine, but not as bad as you think it was. So I'm not sure where to start here, but I'll go with this. I went down and I found this truck, and this truck was priced very well. We went down, we bought the truck, got it back, and we decided we're gonna fix oil leaks, right? So we got the head off, and well, this was up at this truck shop where we go, Martin's Truck Repair, and we got the head off and got to looking at it, and it would have needed a new head. It would have needed a new head gasket, and there was also scoring in the liners. And we talked about it. There was, you know, you start looking at some of these components and you decide, you know what, I'm going to get a couple grand wrapped up into this thing, or I have an engine that we could simply swap right out. The other thing that I am checking into is I think that block from the engine that was in here was an 11.1 block. We're gonna do a little bit of digging and see, but so what I decided, I was like, you know what, instead of having that engine, we're just gonna swap it out. It's gonna make life easier. We know what we got here with this Detroit, and it was not really gonna cost us any more money. And then I know that we're good to go. This has been this engine we know has been gone through. So it's not like I would have had to replace engine mounts and the radiator and everything else. This is pretty much, you know, plug and play. And I'll know exactly what my bill is, but I'll know here in the next week or two. So yeah, that was kind of one of the reasons why we swapped it out. There was two major oil leaks in the engine, and a lot of it coming around the head and then up in the front. And it was like, let's just pop that engine out and put this other one in. So Fitzgerald did that engine before. looking back, I wasn't sure what I should have done, because in reality, I could have ran that engine. If I would have been willing to put with the oil leaks, I could have ran that engine for another, I don't know how long that engine would have went. So it wasn't RGM's fault. They didn't, I don't think they took it apart. I don't think they knew what that engine was like. And like I said, we could have got this truck back and we could have ran it. This truck it still had good power. It still ran fine. There was nothing wrong with it there. It's just, it was a ticking time bomb, I feel. So that's why we just went ahead and swapped it out. No hard feelings. If I would have paid dearly for this truck, the one that kind of burns me a little bit, so that green Kenworth that we got, truck number 156, that was a Cummins N14 that we got in on that truck, and that one I paid dearly. I paid almost double for that truck. That 2019, that was 1 year newer than this truck, Kenworth, about the same miles, maybe a little bit less, about 100,000 miles less on it, and I had to swap the engine out. So that one was a little more painful. So that's when gliders were a lot higher. This one I got for a very good price. Not only that, when we got this truck, you know, it had new tires the whole way around. That's a chunk of change right there. So I'm still very happy. This might cost me another, I'm guessing 6 to 10 grand, somewhere in there, to get it swapped. I don't know exactly. Maybe it's not going to be quite that much. It depends what all they did. But I'm not too worried. I know that this truck will hopefully go down the road good and start making us some money. Truck prices have gone down quite a bit. Before you guys get all excited, so this truck, I just gotta show you, 587,000 miles. It's a 2018 Peterbilt 389, okay, with a Detroit 13 speed. It's spec'd out beautiful, right? I paid under 100,000 for it. Look at truck paper, look at gliders, and you can see very quickly that I'm probably got this truck for a chunk less. Plus, I know the owner that had it before. I know they maintained it well. Yeah, unfortunately, the engine they didn't know about when we went to fix oil leaks. That's when we run into the decision. Now, this truck over here, that white and green Kenworth, that's the latest purchase. That's another glider that has a Detroit in that has been rebuilt already. So I'm very eager to get that thing on the road and to see what kind of engine that's going to be. You know, so hopefully we don't have to swap that engine out. But I do have another Detroit that we can swap that engine out with. So, and I got a cat. I got two cats sitting here. So we have options. But again, guys, no hard feelings on this. This is a decision that I decided, you know what? I'd rather, instead of spending 6 to 10 grand to fix oil leaks, we'll put 6 to 10 grand into swapping the engine, and then I know exactly what I got. And this engine should do us well. So also for you guys that are fairly new to the channel, I had bought some Sterling trucks with these Detroit engines in, 60 series Detroits. They had a smaller turbo and they were derated to about 300 horsepower. They were 7-speed Sterling single axle. So I bought 3 of them and we took 2 of them to Pennsylvania. The engines took 2 of them to Pennsylvania, put bigger turbos on, upgraded them to about 500 horsepower. So that's what this engine is. It was all done quite a while ago. We were kind of running it around as a lot truck, so it's not like this engine just sat, but so it did get some use. But then we had it sitting here, so it was ready to go. It was all ready to go. So that's what made the decision pretty easy to get this swapped into this truck. So I think this next week is when this truck should hopefully go out. This truck has all the components for the wet line. We just literally have to run the hoses and swap out the tank, which is no big deal, and put this visor back on, put a GPS unit in it. Hoping midweek that this truck will be up and running. I can tell you this, if I took that engine out of there, sold it as a 13-speed, here's the truck, here it is, I'd have a lot of guys lined up to take this. So and they would pay good money for it. So, and as far as the Detroit engine, to me, the Detroit engine is a great engine. I have no problem with it. I would rather have a Detroit than a Cummins. I love the Cats. The Cats reliability has been awesome. I've never really rebuilt one of these Detroits, a full rebuild, so I don't know exactly what it costs. But, we've done it, in our other Detroits, we've done injectors, and there's little things. Yes, those injectors are cheaper, but we can run our Cats all day long, every day, and have zero injector trouble. Whereas these things, you're going to have a few more injector issues, and you're going to have, a few more things that are a turbo or whatever going bad on them. That, unfortunately, though, I mean, that's not a big deal. Um, we can do it here. These things are easy to work on. It's just they require a little more maintenance than the Cats do. But again, I they're great engines. Anything but a Cummins, really. I don't like the Cummins. I will say the N14 that we do have in the gray truck has been good, but we've just never had good success with the Cummins engine. All right, guys. And I got to get this truck, see if I can put this one on a collector card. I got a bunch of Kenworths coming up, putting on collector cards, but about time to get a Peterbilt back on there. So I'm going to be doing some traveling this week. This next week, I don't know if I'll be able to get to see this truck when it goes out, rolls out for the first time. But as soon as this one goes out, that white and green one's coming in, and getting some work done to that. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening this next week. If you guys haven't already, again, check out Flint Creek merch, and there's t-shirts, hats, hoodies. You can also get coffee shipped to the same order. So check it out. And if you want to have your truck featured on a collector card, shoot me an email, justin@flintcreektransport.com, and I'll see what I can do. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.